Hi guys, it's Sabrina. I'm so sorry that it's so dark and yellow. It is so rainy outside and there's nothing I can do about it, and I've been sick for over a week, which is why there was a video missing last week, and I'm generally a mess. And so I'm filming now, and this is the best I can do, and that's my excuse. Anyway, today I'm going to be sharing with you 25 books that I want to read before the end of 2025. I know that most people do this in the beginning of the year, and I did in fact do this in the beginning of the year. But instead of viewing these TBRs as like books I 100% need to absolutely read, I kind of view these TBRs as like these are the books at the top of my list right now that I'm most excited about. And so I thought that mid-year my priorities have kind of shifted. Like I wanted to talk about some of the newer books on my list, and I just wanted to share the ones I really want to read before the end of the year. So that's what I'm doing today. So buckle in. I don't know why I said that. Let's just get started. The first book on the list is one I actually don't know much about, and that is The Unworthy by Augustina Bazterrica. I don't know how to say her name, I'm so sorry. This book is by the author of Tender as the Flesh, which is one of my all-time favorite books. I love that book so much. But this book, from what I understand, it's another horror novel, which makes me very excited, and it takes place in a convent at the end of the world, and that's all I know. Like, I don't even know if the main character is a nun or if she's just there to, like, escape. I don't know what's going on. I've heard some mixed reviews of it, which makes me a little scared, because although I love Tender as a Flesh so much, I didn't really like the short story collection by this author, so I'm a little scared to go into it, but this is definitely a book I want to read before the end of the year. Like, I'm so excited about this still. I have very high hopes going into it, and I hope I'm not going to be let down. Next, we've got a book that has graced many TBRs for me, and that is Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. This is the third book in the Dune series, which if you don't know, Dune essentially follows the House Atreides when they are given dominion over the planet Arrakis. Arrakis is a really important planet because there's this thing there called spice, which is harvested and is used for like the magic of the times as well as intergalactic travel, I believe. And so this family Atreides travels to Arrakis, but soon after they are betrayed and the son escapes. And that's basically where it starts. This is the third book. I've heard it gets weirder and worse as it goes on. So I am both excited and scared. And I've been putting it off for so long, but I do really want to read the whole Dune series. And it's been a while since I've read Dune Messiah, so I really need to pick this up soon. I'm hoping I get to it by the end of the year just because I haven't read any Dune books this year so far. Like, I read the first two last year, so I need to continue on. I don't want to, like, get too far that I forget what's been happening, so that's why this was on the list. After that, we have Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. This book follows like an anthropological experiment where like a group of college students and this guy and I think he's a professor, so he's not just a guy. A group of college students, a professor, and the professor's family decide to live as ancient Britons, which means they're surviving by the tools and knowledge of the Iron Age. I don't know what it is about that, but that premise sounds so interesting to me. Like, I want to read it so bad. And I need to pick it up soon because it's a really short book, so I have no excuse. Like, what have I been waiting for? I don't know. Then we have another one that's been on many TBRs, and that was Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. I don't know why I just haven't picked this up yet, because it's been on so many monthly TBRs, it's been on so many videos where I'm talking about the books I want to read. It doesn't make any sense. This book follows a hostage situation, but then by the end of the panicked, life-threatening scenario, it's evolved into something quite different. A moment of great beauty. As guerrillas and hostages forge unexpected bonds and people from different continents become compatriots, intimate friends, and lovers. I'm really interested in how something begins in a hostage situation and ends up like that. Like, I want to see the progress. I want to see how we get there. I've also heard so much about this book because there's so much hype that I need to pick it up soon. Then we have James Baldwin's No Name in the Street. This is his memoir. I love James Baldwin. I've only read 2 of his books, but I can say that with full confidence. Like, I think he's my favorite writer of all time. I've read 1 nonfiction and 1 fiction. Love them both. This is, like I said, his memoir, so I'm really interested in it because I'd love to learn more about his life. And I love a good memoir at the end of the day. Like, right now I'm in a biography kick, but memoirs are my favorite just because they're usually written by the person instead of just being written by someone else. I just think it's like such an intimate portrayal of someone's life, and I can't wait to read this. Next, we have Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Holworth. This is a coming-of-age tale that takes place in the 90s in a very conservative town in Ireland, and it follows this teenage girl who has this guy best friend, and for her entire life, basically, everyone's just been convinced that they're going to end up together, and she's kind of accepted that as a fact, too. But then she starts having feelings for a girl in her class. And she's really, like, I can't think of the word right now. It starts with a C. Conflicted, that's the word. She's really conflicted because she wants to be accepted by her small town, but she also has feelings for this girl. And those things are kind of against each other, given the conservative nature of her town. I've heard this is a beautiful, beautiful book. I want to read this soon. It's also an Irish book, so I think I can fit it into my Reading on the Roll challenge, which I haven't done in like over a year now that I'm thinking about it. So I really want to get into that soon, start reading more diversely, reading more books that have been translated, and more books that have been like published across the world. So this is definitely higher up on that list. In a similar vein, I have, what's this book called? Our Share of Night, Mariana Enriquez. This book follows a young boy and his father. His mother has recently died, and they're traveling to go visit his mother's family. But they are an interesting bunch because they are a family called the Order that commits an unspeakable acts in search of immortality. I just know this is going to be so good. Like, it's kind of beefy, and I think that's why I haven't picked it up yet. But I just know I'm going to love it when I finally get to it. This is a translated work. I believe it's Argentinian. And I can't believe I haven't picked this up yet. I know I'm going to love it. I really do. I have such high expectations for this book that it might not meet them. And maybe that's why I haven't picked it up yet, but I think I'm going to love it. Next, we have Earth Eater by Dolores Reyes. This just sounds like I think this is also Argentinian. I'm not sure. This is also a really, really interesting premise. This follows, it takes place in Argentina, and it follows a young woman who can't stop eating Earth. Okay, love that. But her compulsion of, like, eating Earth gives her visions of the murdered and disappeared, burdening her with secrets she'd rather not know. She keeps her disturbing visions to herself, but soon enough, rumor of her powers spread, and desperate members of the community seek out her help to find loved ones and closure. Another very short book, but it just sounds so interesting. I think it's really going to pack a punch. Then we have a biography, because like I said, I am in a biography kick. And that biography is The Life and Death of Anne Boleyn by Eric Ives. I didn't know this was written by a man. I don't know why that kind of turns me off a little bit. I think Anne Boleyn is such an interesting figure. I want to learn more about her. I've always been really attracted to, like, famous female figures, and obviously she's definitely one of those. I've heard, I don't know about her say things, like, concretely, but I've heard a lot of her being very, like, progressive for her time, like, wanting the Bible to be written in plain English so that ordinary people can read it. Other things like that. So I'm really interested in learning more about her and seeing if that's actually true. I also just think she's such a tragic figure. Like, when I was in London, I had to visit the place of her death. And, like, the Tower of London, it was, like, high up on my list. So I think it's gonna be really cool reading this, like, with the knowledge of being to those places, too. I don't know, I just think it's gonna be fun. Which is a crazy way to describe a fucking biography of a dead woman, but here I am describing it that way. I don't know why I am the way that I am. After that, we have a very popular book that I can't believe I haven't gotten to yet, and that's Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. My voice is just getting progressively worse as we go on, but I'm gonna ignore it. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I don't know what this book is about. I know it follows two boys, two men, I don't know, two people of that gender. I know it has to do with chess, and that's literally the only shit I know about this book. I want to read it just because it's Sally Rooney. I've heard some people say it's her worst. I've heard some people say it's her best. I want to be in the know. So far, I've only loved Normal People by Sally Rooney. Her other books have just been okay to me. So I'm interested to see where this one stands. I think I'm always going to read Sally Rooney just because she's so popular and I want to, like, be in the know, which maybe isn't my most charming character trait. But it's going to happen. So I want to pick it up this year because it was already published last year. Like, I don't know why I'm so late to this party, but here I am. Next is another nonfiction. And then Say Nothing, A True Story of Murder and Memory in Northern Ireland by Patrick Radden Keefe. This is a nonfiction that I've heard a lot about. Like, I feel like this is on every, like, best nonfiction books list and stuff like that. Like, best books of the century. And I just feel like everyone loves this. And I know nothing about the IRA. So I think this is going to be a good one to pick up. I'm just really excited because I love nonfiction. I love nonfiction about, like, interesting topics. And to me, this is an interesting topic that I know nothing about. Because I think it's, like, a unique blend of, like, politics and revolutionary thinking and, like, maybe not revolutionary, rebellious thinking, and also terrorism, which is somehow an interest of mine. So I'm going to go into this, and I think I'm going to love it. So I do want to read this soon. I just, like, keep forgetting that it's on my TBR, honestly, and that's a shame. Next book is a very sad one, and that is Suicide by Edouard Louvet. I don't know how to say any French name ever. Anyway, This book is kind of can't just be read as a novel because it's basically the author's suicide note. It's presented as an investigation to the suicide of a friend, but he did write this before killing himself. I've started reading this before. I only got to page 30 apparently. I remember it was really sad and it was really hard hitting. I'd like to pick it up again. Like I said, I really want to do my like reading and translation series, like reading around the world series. And this is a French book. It's been translated from French, so I think this would be a great addition to that series. I just need to get on it. I suck at doing reading vlogs, especially lately. Next is Elena Knows by Claudia Pinheiro, and this book follows a woman whose daughter's body is found hanging in the belfry of the church she devoted herself to. And shortly afterwards, the investigation's like very quickly closed. But her mother doesn't accept the police's version of what happened, so she sets out to investigate herself. I have heard that this is like an incredible book. The synopsis doesn't really like take me in that much, to be honest. I don't know why I said it like that. That's such an awkward way of saying that. The synopsis doesn't really capture my interest that much, to be honest, but I'm trusting what everyone says about this book. I'm gonna pick it up. I think I'm gonna love it. Then we have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This book follows Shakespeare's son, and that's all I know. But I've heard so much about Maggie O'Farrell, especially this book, and I really want to pick it up because I really want to give her a shot. I'm also really interested in The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. But I already own this one, so I'm going to start with this one first. And I'm really excited about it. I don't know why, like, I haven't been reading much historical fiction lately, so maybe I'm just excited to get back into the genre, but I do really love historical fiction. And it's been so long since I found like, a good one, I feel. So I'm really hoping this is going to be, like, a great book. Then we have a classic. I don't know if this is the only classic on the list, but it might be. And that is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I don't know what this book is about. This book either follows, like, the descendants of Cain and Abel, or Cain and Abel themselves, or it's, like, a metaphor for the Cain and Abel. I don't know. But I'm gonna read it. I read The Grapes of Wrath a couple years ago. I remember hating that book when I read it in high school, but I really liked, like, the class, What am I thinking? I really liked, like, the class elements in that book. That's not the right word, but you get what I'm saying. And so I'm excited to go into this one. I just think I'm gonna love it. I've also been following some YouTubers have been reading it lately and just, like, raving about it. So it makes me want to pick it up even more just to, like, see how I feel. I don't know. After that, we have a novella, and then it's Coup de Grace by Sophia Arjum. This book follows a man who decides that he's going to kill himself, which I guess is a recurring theme in these books that I'm reading. Anyway, he is taking the subway to do that, and after he gets off the subway, he gets lost in this, like, endless corridor. And it's just, like, a short horror novella, but it sounds really interesting. I've been following this author for a long time because I love her jewelry, which I mention every time I mention this book. But I really want to see what her writing is like. Like, it just makes me so interested to see how you can be so creative in so many different facets. Like, I'm sure she's going to be a wonderful writer too, and then I'll be jealous of that as well. But it has some hype in my mind, so I'm hoping it lives up to it. Next, we have Brad by Gabriel Smith. This is a horror book. Came out before Charlie XCX's Brad, which is pretty funny. But this basically follows our protagonist, who is mourning the death of his father, and he agrees to move back into his parents' house to clear it out for sale. But the moldy, overgrown house starts to deteriorate around him, as is his own health, as large sheets of his skin begin to peel from his body at a terrifying rate. That's all I need to know. It sounds so fucking weird. I need to pick it up. I need to read it now. Then we have a very special book to me, and that is The Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath. I recently read Sylvia Plath's biography. I'm obsessed with it. Like, so obsessed with it. I want to read everything she's ever written now, which isn't much. I have started reading her journals. I'm on page 186. I made the decision when I was like 16 to read this slowly over the course of my life. And it's been a few years since I picked it up. I did pick this up a little bit and started reading some of it when I was reading the biography, and I was really enjoying it because Sylvia Plath's writing is just insane. Like, it is so gorgeous. I do still want to read it, like, kind of slowly, but maybe not over the course of my life because I'm a little bit impatient, and I kind of want to read it all now. So this is not on my TBR in the sense of, like, I want to finish this before the year ends, but I do want to read some more of it before the year ends, so I hope that makes sense. Next, we have The Years by Virginia Woolf. I picked this book up when I was in Quebec. I don't really know anything about it. All I know is I really like the quote on the back, which says, "There must be another life, here and now. This is too short, too broken. We know nothing, even about ourselves. I don't know what it is about that quote, but I really like it. And reading the biography on Sylvia Plath made me want to read Virginia Woolf more for some reason. Like, there's a connection there in my brain. I've only read Mrs. Dalloway, and I wasn't, like, in love with that book. I didn't like it, but I didn't love it. But I think I'm gonna like this more just based off of that and nothing else. So I do want to very much pick this up soon. Next, we've got The Lottery and Other Short Stories by Shirley Jackson. I love this cover. I especially love the, what's it called? Edge? I don't know what this is called. I just love how they carried on with the rock theme. I really love The Haunting of Hill House, which makes me think I love Shirley Jackson, even though I haven't read much else by her. I really want to pick this up because I also, when I was reading the biography of Sylvia Plath, as I keep mentioning over and over, I also picked up a biography of Shirley Jackson, which I really want to read. And when I finished the biography of Sylvia Plath, I picked up that one, but it immediately mentioned The Lottery, and I've never read The Lottery. I didn't want to be spoiled. I didn't even want to know what it's about, so I put it down right away. Which made me realize I really need to read more Shirley Jackson, which is, like, kind of a sad thing, because I love The Haunted Hill House so much that makes me want to, like, draw out her other works, which I probably still will. But I at least want to read, like, one or two other things before delving into her biography, so that I'm not, like, spoiled for things, if that makes sense. I'm not really a short story person, but The Lottery is probably her most famous work, and I've heard so many great things about it, and I really want to pick it up soon. Next, we have Drawing Down the Moon, Witches, Druids, Goddess Worshippers, and Other Pagans in America by Margaret Adler. This is a nonfiction book about pagans in America, if you couldn't tell by that title. I think this sounds so interesting, and I did start reading it years ago. I only got to page 136, apparently, but I was loving it. I put it down just because it was really hard for me to read nonfiction while in school. So I was reading so many, like, articles and nonfiction all the fucking time that it was hard for me to read, like, nonfiction books for fun. But I'm back in the nonfiction swing of things, and I want to pick this up very soon. Next, we have what is maybe the only fantasy on this list, which is crazy, because fantasy used to be my main genre. And that is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. All I know about this book is that it's, like, a Nordic-inspired fantasy world, and it has dragons. And that's enough for me. That's enough! I really like John Gwynne's The Fateful and the Fallen. I don't know what it's called. I really like that series, though, and I want to read more by him, so this is high up on my list. After that, we have Fruit of the Dead by Rachel Lyon. This is a retelling of Hades and Persephone, but it's set in the modern day. And for what I remember, it follows this woman who, she's like a young woman, and she's working at this summer camp, and a very wealthy father invites her to, like, come stay with them at their beach house or something like that. But the one catch is that she has to send an NDA and she can't tell anyone where she's going. So she kind of disappears, and her mother freaks the fuck out and goes to find her. I don't know what it is about this that's so interesting to me. I think maybe it's the Hades and Persephone retelling part. I haven't even, like, heard any reviews of this book. Ever since it was announced, I've just been very interested in it. So I do want to pick it up soon. Then we have another collection of short stories, and that is Bliss Montage by Ling Mom. I think the thing that keeps me coming back to this book is just the cover. It is such a good cover. I think it's amazing. I'm not a short story person, but I really love Severance by this author, so I really want to give her short stories a shot and see if I like them. I'm hoping they're, like, horror, because I think that horror short stories I have a better chance of liking. But yeah, it's really just cover love for me here, so hopefully I like it. And then, the very last book on the list is Three Women by Lisa Taddeo. This is a nonfiction book, and it follows, like, the lives of three women, and that's all I know. I think it has to do with, like, their sex lives, yeah. A riveting true story about the sex lives of three real American women based on nearly a decade of reporting. It sounds so interesting, like, the fact that she's been following them around for, like, a fucking decade and is now, like, telling their stories. I don't know what it's about that draws me in, but something draws me in, and I'm very excited about this. I also think they're making a movie about it soon, which is also interesting. So there you go, guys. My bed is now full of piles of books. Those are the 25 books I want to read before the year ends. Let me know down below if you want to read any of these books, or if not, what books you do want to read before the year ends. And I'll see you soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!